trust what you say and that's all okay. But everything starts to feel like a con, and I'm the pawn. Am I right or wrong?
This week we're going to be down in Florida slamming some swamp lizards once again. Last year I had a hard time watching Sharon and Harry have so much fun on their alligator hunt. So this time I decided to take a couple of my buddies back down to Hoppy's to give it a go ourselves.
Select Hunter. Select UA Package. Select Point. Select Transport. Select Accuracy Package. Select Nikon Optics.
Dean's gator was one that Hoppy had some trouble with in this cattle pasture. This large gator was residing in this canal and was constantly traveling up and down, waiting for the perfect opportunity on one of the young calves. So what we did was just take the little cover that we had and try to get into position and wait for this gator to come by so that we could get a quick shot. Since this was an older gator, we had to give him quite a bit of time to slowly work his way down the channel. He would pop up and go back down and pop up and go back down, so we really had to just wait by what little cover we had until he finally came in close enough to give Dean the shot that he was waiting for. After making that quick body shot, Dean waited for the gator to come back up to give him another follow-up shot to the head.
That one smacked him right in the head. Yeah, I think we're gonna start. That was a rush, duds. That was crazy, guys. You got to come down to Osceola Outfitters in Florida. That was a rush. Like,
you saw little duds.
Oh boy, I would do the hat kick, only I've got arthritis in my left foot and I'd probably fall over.
Let's tag him and get him up here, dude.
That's crazy.
Knock on.
Crazy. That was fantastic. Boy, that's good shooting. And I want to show everybody my new simple. It really was simple.
It was?
I was a young boy growing up in Wales, shooting rabbits with an air rifle. Hunting was a huge passion for me back then, and I never ever thought it would lead to...
You've come a long way.
Being...
From rabbits to alligators.
Rabbits to alligators,
rabbits
yeah.
Congratulations, Dean.
No,
good
it's
shooting,
awesome.
buddy.
Like I say, I can't thank everybody enough here at Osceola Outfitters, Hoppy and the guys, and Mike. It was absolutely amazing. I'm breathless. I'm so excited right now.
I'm breathless too.
But I tell you right now.
You are. You're almost wiped.
Yeah. So guys, the next time you see this guy, he's actually going to be on the seat of my Harley. So, knock on.
You better send a picture of that.
Oh, I will do.
Oh man, that's a fat, nice gator. Woo. That's an 8-footer, guys.
Awesome job.
Man, it's a little bit warm. Awesome. Awesome.
Be sure to visit knockonarchery.com to see our entire line of knock-on lifestyle clothing, as well as some awesome knock-on gear and accessories that I personally take to the field myself. Enter promo code SHOWFAN and I'll include a free signed photo. Also remember that all U.S. orders over 100 get free shipping. knockonarchery.com.
Dead Center.
On this week's Dead Center, I'm going to talk about how to properly install a new arrow rest on your new bow. And I've got the brand new Hoyt Charger right here. This is going to be a bow that I'm going to be excited to shoot this year. It's actually priced very well. It's easy on your wallet, and this bow reminds me a lot of an Alpha Max, which was one of my favorite bows in the years past. So if you're looking for a budget bow, this is going to be a great one for you to go for. But the first thing that I do is obviously screw my rest onto the riser. And my preferred rest over the last, I don't even know how long, has been a trophy taker. And the rest that I've used on my hunting bows for the last several years is the smackdown style rest. And that is a rest that connects down to the limb. It's a limb driver style fall away instead of connecting to the cable, which sometimes can be a little bit more tricky to tune when they go directly to that cable. But this limb driver style system I really prefer because it's extremely repetitive, because as you draw the bow and the limbs flex, it actually lets the rest come up. And then as soon as you fire and the limbs go to their normal position, the rest is completely down. So the limbs on your bow bend the exact same every time, and since this is connected to those limbs, your rest is doing the exact same thing every time too. I've just found it to be perfect for the timing of when the rest goes down and also the speed of the rest. It gives you perfect clearance. You never have to worry about bounce back, which is another issue on some type of fall away rests. So what we've done first, mounted the rest to the bow. We've gone ahead and installed the bracket which attaches this rest down to the bottom of the limb. And what I've done first is I have not pulled this cord all the way tight, because when I do pull this cord all the way tight, this rest will go down, which is how it normally should be in a rested position. But because we haven't put our knock and our loop on yet, I'm going to go ahead and leave that rest up. And that's actually really nice for your initial setup. From there, what I do is I'll put my arrow on my string, and I'm going to go ahead and get my arrow to 90 degrees as a starting point. And from there, what I do is I try to adjust my rest up and down so that the bottom of my arrow shaft is right level with the bottom of your burger buttonhole. So right now I've already adjusted my rest up and down so that when my arrow is at 90 degrees, the bottom of my arrow is directly in line with the bottom of the hole. Okay, once we've got our height adjusted so that we're at 90 degrees and that bottom of the shaft's with the bottom of the hole, then what we're going to do is go ahead and install our knock and our loop. Okay, and I'm going to show you up close exactly how I do that, and it's really simple with a technique that you call over and under knots. Before you tie a knock and a loop set, it's going to be important that you have the right material for the job. And BCY makes a perfect size material for tying your knots, which is called the number 3D serving. You can contact BCY or go to your local dealer and request it to make sure that you have the right thread for tying your knock. Then you want to make sure that you have the correct type of material for your loop. And BCY also makes a poly braid or a D braid, which is perfect for a tied loop. Now the first step to tying your knock sets is to do what's called an over and under knot. So what you do is you take some of your thread, about 1.5 feet long, and you're going to start by tying your knock above the arrow knock. So what I do is I actually do a double loop tie. So I'm going to go through one time, then one more time, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this down right above the top of my arrow knock. And it's important that you don't move your knock while you're doing this, because once again we've put this knock right now at 90 degrees. We're going to snug this down just a little bit and make sure that that thread is perfectly level across the top of your knock. You don't want it on an angle. You want to make sure that it fits perfectly up against it. So we've gone ahead and done one, and we've tied under. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go 1, 2 times. We're going to snug this down, but this time we're going to be on top. So you can see it was an under. Now we're over. We're going to do the same thing again. Snug this down. you can see that we're already starting a perfect knock set. I like to do this for about 3 times on the top knock. Then once we move to do the same thing on the bottom, we're actually going to do it a few more times. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. And what we do once we've got 3 rows, this time on the bottom we're going to just tie 1 time, and we're going to pull that tight. And this time when we do our final tie, again 1 time, pull it down, and you can see that I'm going to cinch this time right between the last 2 rows. We're going to cinch that down right between the 2 rows right there, and then we're going to tie 1 more time over the top of that last knot that we made. And what that's going to do is that's going to totally lock that down to have a perfect tied knock set. And we're going to go ahead and take a lighter and burn these down, and then you're going to have a perfect knot that easy. Now that I've done this bottom knock set, I'm going to go ahead and burn these tabs off for you. And then what I'm going to show you is when you do your bottom knock set, it's going to be important that you leave about a 1/2 millimeter of space between the bottom of your arrow nock and your tied knock set. You want to push your nock hard up against the top of your top knock, and you want to have just a fraction of a gap right here. You can see that I've got just a little bit of movement, and that's important because as you draw your bow back and your string comes to a triangle, that's going to pinch down a little bit on top of that knock. So if you don't have that little space right there, it'll end up pushing your arrow off as you draw back. So remember to have just a small space, about 1/2 millimeter, just so that you have a little bit of play.
If you're looking to learn more about archery, be sure to tune in to Knock On Podcasts. Knock On Podcasts is a weekly talk show where I get in-depth with shooting techniques, equipment setup, and also give you a no BS review on some of the latest industry gear. Knock On Podcasts are great for listening on a road trip or that dreaded ride into work. Expand your archery knowledge with the highest level of world-class information on the airwaves. Knock On Podcasts. This next hunt's with my good friend Robbie, and this was on a big gator that we found in a small hole because it was so dry, and every time we crawled up on this guy, he'd catch us and bust out of there. But since it was such a drought year, he really didn't have anywhere to go, so finally, after coming back another time, we caught him, and he gave us a perfect shot.
Oh my gosh. That was a smoker shot. Shuttle T.
Man.
Crawled up
That
here.
was sweet. I think I put a really good shot on it.
That was awesome, dude. I can't believe we made it. Look at that little path we came in on. Copy.
Did you get him?
It looked killer shot.
Yes.
You got him?
Oh, yeah.
I heard the snap, but I was hoping that was him.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Awesome.
snapped him all right.
Hit him in the head.
Yes.
Went for the temple shot.
Cool. Let me go get my hook out of the truck. Hoping we don't
crazy.
get struck by lightning right here.
Just shredding hogs. Got a
Just-
big old gator.
What a crazy day, man.
This was unbelievable. My textbook quote, unbelievable. I say that way too much, but I think just that explains hunting for us. I just love it. Brought my good buddy Robbie down here. We met 13 or 15 years ago. We met. Yeah. I was a sales rep. He worked in an archery shop, was managing the shop, and we met and became friends. And even though we both do totally different things now in life, we still stay together. We still live the archery lifestyle. We still knock on, and dude, that was a rip. Right, perfect shot.
Right through the skull.
That shuttle just did the number. He's actually got the some Easton shavs with the brass inserts, and that heavy weight. Mass energy is so critical to shooting tough animals, and
to go through a cranium like that was unreal, dude.
It punched right through.
So excited for you. Thanks for coming.
So
Hoppy
pumped up.
here at Osceola Outfitters has just made an incredible adventure for me and some of my crew. Get down here. It's summer. You're bored. Now's the time. Call him. It's just fun. It's fun. It's affordable. Man,
You'll definitely enjoy it.
the most
That's
expensive part of the trip is probably your taxidermy bill.
I would say so.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
See the size of that thing? It's the last day. Everyone's got their gator but me. We came in here to this big pond. It's probably about a quarter mile from the road, but it's just filled with gators, and this big gator right here is being very protective of this corner. Smaller gators keep coming around, and every time he keeps swimming over there to run them off. So if you can still see, he just keeps moving back there. We're just gonna wait for him to come by us and try to get a broadside shot. He's such a big gator that his scoots are out of the water, so I should be able to put an arrow right underneath that scoot.
After both my buddies got their gators, it was finally my turn to get my shot, and this couldn't come soon enough because I was so pumped up still from last year filming Sharon and Little Dud's gator hunts, and now this year filming both my buddies on awesome gator hunts as well. I just could not wait to finally get my shot at one of these big old prehistoric beasts.
Crazy. Came in here, we're driving around looking for a big old gator, saw a big old gator out here. Got my first shot in him. He crashed down, he came back up. Hoppy got a hook on him, so now we're just following this thing around. I just got my second shot in him. And they're really tough to kill. They're notorious for that. But this is a giant gator. We need to just give them a little bit of time. I went for the body shot because it lets their air out.
Man, that's your first shot.
Right under this.
You thought you'd hit him right under the scoot. That's where it was.
I saw the arrow go right on the water, but then I saw it. I thought I could see it. Skip.
There's your second one. Cracked him right there.
That was a pass through right there. Hear that? The reason I like the body shot so much is because it lets
the air out of him.
That water goes in there and it just really puts them down quick.
Tagged up if I brought that.
Yeah,
tag
put your.
while you're.
Robbie, that was crazy.
Dude, that is a giant.
I don't know if
He's at least 10, maybe a little better.
Yeah, he's a good one. I don't know if is this a time? Easy, Tiger.
That's just nerves.
We pulled up and we started glassing this pond, and what we noticed was this boss gator was being so protective of this whole corner.
You know what I think he was doing too? Is I noticed there was some tilapia must be bedding right here. Remember we kept seeing swirls right there, and I think there's a bed. And
he was
trying to catch them right here, and then he didn't want them other gators to come in here close.
Every time another gator would pop up, he would just go to it, and then he'd come right back to this corner. And it was like antelope bucks when they run other ones off. They come right back the same way they came. Do you have any teeth in there?
Whole mouthful. Got all of them.
Jeez.
He's been brushing too.
He has. He's got clean teeth.
Pearly whites.
Pretty nasty down in there though.
Well, last year you said instead of knock on, we crock on.
That's right.
You remember that?
I do remember.
It's pretty bad when your close friends tell you that the 90s called and wanted their quiver back. I'm telling you, it's hard to find good friends.
Well, Dean, we'll just have to take your word for it, buddy, that there was a day where that quiver was cool.